Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing our first ride on the brand new Segway XABER X300 electric dirt bike. This bike showed up to my house fully assembled, and I am very eager to test it out. And I'm super grateful that with my measly 17,000 subscribers, Segway thought it would be a good idea to send this bike out to me for a review. My guess is that they know you guys love these super detailed technical reviews that we do on this channel. And don't worry, for future videos, we're gonna go in depth with checking out all the specs and components and performance numbers for this electric dirt bike. That being said, today's video is just going to be a quick ride just to get an initial impressions feel of this bike and see how it does out on the trails. In case you guys are not familiar with the brand new Segway X300, here's a quick intro. The Segway XABER X300 has a 19-inch front and 17-inch rear mullet wheel setup wrapped in heavy-duty CST treaded tires with factory rim locks. It has a custom flat wire motor with an internal gearbox and a massive 520 drive chain with a 44-tooth sprocket, meaning 0 belts and 0 jack shafts to snap. This motor is advertised to produce 21 kilowatts of peak power and 600 newton meters of torque, which will bring this e-moto from 0 to 50 in 5.5 seconds and give it a top speed of 60 miles an hour. We're going to test that. All of that power comes from a 72-volt, 44-amp-hour battery packed with high-discharge Samsung 50S cells. To support all of those parts, this e-moto has a forged 6000 series aluminum racing frame, giving it a weight of 187 pounds and a max payload of 330 pounds. For suspension, we have a fully adjustable Marzocchi inverted fork up front and a matching Marzocchi multi-link rear shock, both of which have 220 millimeters of travel. And for brakes, we get dual 4-piston hydraulic calipers with 3mm thick, 220mm rotors. This bike also has probably the most software features I've ever seen on any electric dirt bike before. In fact, we actually just finished doing an over-the-air firmware update. Here's a quick rapid-fire list of some of the software features it has. Integrated GPS and 4G connectivity, 4-tiered power modes, plus a fully customizable Pro Mode throttle curve, a virtual E-clutch trigger for instant RPM dumping, terrain adaptive traction control, hill hold assist to lock you in place on steep inclines, cruise control, and a dedicated reverse gear, adjustable regen braking via the app, proximity airlock unlocking, NFC keys, and a pin code access, real-time theft tracking and geofencing, and an active motion alarm that physically locks up the rear wheel, and a loud motorcycle-grade horn. All of that comes in at the current price point of $52.99, but as you already guessed, prices could change, so to get the most up-to-date price, check the link in the description below, or just use your phone to scan the QR code on the screen, which will bring you straight to Segway's website. Alright, so we just got to the trail. This bike has so many settings that we're going to be messing with. Currently, this bike is somewhat limited in power because this is one of the early review models that they sent out to people such as myself. Thank you very much, Segway. Really appreciate it. This one in particular needs, I think, about 50 or 60 miles on it in order to unlock the beast mode full power on it, because right now it looks like we're limited to 150 and 200, which I guess kind of means 150cc and 200cc, kind of something equivalent to that. We've got traction control on. We'll try that out. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we're just going to ride it around the trail and see how it goes, guys. And another reason why I'm actually starting out on the trail as my first video is because Segway kindly asked me to keep this thing off the roads. And if it is a road, it's got to be a private road. So we're going to keep it 100% legal for you guys, just because I'm sure, you know, they want to maintain a certain image. So I will respect their wishes, and we're gonna start off our video series on this bike by hitting the trails. Let's start at 150. So the throttle, it is very responsive, but extremely controllable. Just on first impression, I can turn the throttle just a tiny bit and get just enough power, and I can have a lot of control with the throttle position. Just off the bat, that's the first thing I'm noticing, just how much control the throttle gives me. The second thing I'm noticing is that this bike is actually on the quieter side from what it sounds like. I do hear the chain, I do hear the motor a little bit, but it's actually fairly quiet. And I think that's because this doesn't have any kind of like jack shaft. I think it does have a gearbox. In terms of how planted this thing feels, it is a heavier bike. It's not quite as light as just a regular Sur-Ron, which I think those are like maybe like $130 somewhere in there. But it's not as heavy as some of the really heavy e-motos out there, like Varg. But it is, you know, it's up there. They rate this bike to come in at 187 pounds. So I'd say it's like a mid-weight, mid-size bike. I do feel the regen right now, so I'm coasting, and it is giving me a tiny bit of regen. We will be playing with all of those settings later on, but right now, like I said, this is just initial impressions video. We're just getting a feel for this bike. This thing, I'm definitely keeping for a very, very long time. This bike has so many features. It's unbelievable. From security, it has some kind of electronic brake where the wheel locks up if it's moving. It sends you signals to your phone if it's moving, all kinds of geofencing. And that's just for security. I'm sure there's more that I'm not even listing. For riding, there's, crying out loud, traction control. I've never been on an electric dirt bike with traction control. And we're using it right now. I am taking it easy on this bike, as you could tell. I'm not really an aggressive off-roader. So if you guys want to see someone jump this bike and really rip it around, probably not the channel to watch. The weight of this bike, I feel it. It's not a lightweight bike, but because of that, it's gonna feel planted. It does feel confidence inspiring going over all these bumps, and that weight plus the suspension, which by the way, the rear has this huge reservoir on it. Everything feels so premium on this, and it does have premium parts. I think the suspension front fork is fully adjustable. So is the rear with that reservoir. Feels very, very good. This bike did come to me, I think, with all the paperwork and VIN number required to make it registerable. So maybe I'll do that just for fun. This might be the first bike that I actually register as a motorcycle so we can legally ride it on the roads. Be kind of cool. It does have the advertised 45 amp hour battery. So I'd say, it's a mid-sized battery. It's not small, it's not huge. There's always trade-offs with batteries, meaning if it's smaller, it's gonna be cheaper and lighter, but you're not gonna get range. If it's bigger, it's gonna be more expensive and much heavier, but you'll get range. It all depends on what kind of ride feel you want. And this one is just kind of right in the middle. It's a medium to larger size battery, 45 amp hours, 72 volts. With the regen, maybe we'll get a tiny bit extra power, but I doubt it. Another thing that's very obvious about this bike is the look. Man, this is a nice looking bike. It looks so sick. From the design and the coloring especially, this is one of my favorite color schemes. Red, black, silver, really great looking combo. And I know that for beast mode, this bike is advertised to peak at about 2100 kilowatts. I've had other bikes and I've tested other bikes that have had an advertised power level that's even higher. And I'll tell you what, that's plenty. I would say that's more than plenty for most people. At one point I was watching a Saronster video and he mentioned that 15 kilowatts for him is the sweet spot for these electric dirt bikes. And the more I ride them, the more I test them out, I gotta say I'm starting to agree with him more and more. I used to be in the group of more power is better, more. But the thing is, you're not even gonna use that power. You have 1,000,000 watts on your electric dirt bike. You're not gonna put that down to the ground. You're gonna loop the bike. Even this, I'm sure with beast mode, if I were to gun it, I'd have to lean over the handlebar so far to not loop the bike. And even then, I think the front wheel would probably come up, because I've done that on different e-motos before, and it's just so much power. You need practice to just launch the bike. So I think the power level in this thing is going to be perfect. And I'm really looking forward to really opening this thing up somewhere and testing it out for you guys, testing it out for myself, feeling out the comfort, how it handles. So far, this feels great. This trail isn't very technical, but it does have a lot of roots in it. Oh, we got a little rock area right here. Yeah, and the suspension is so good. Suspension is very good. This feels very planted, but still nimble. I've had some other bikes that are heavier than this, and you feel the weight a lot. And again, it's not necessarily a bad thing. And we've been keeping it on 150 mode this whole time. It's kind of like beginner mode, I guess. This thing is so quiet. Feels great though. Yeah, I feel that regen working going down this hill. I really got to dig into the app and mess around with it, because it's crazy the amount of things you can adjust in there. It's honestly overwhelming. I feel like the stereotypical situation of a geriatric neighbor trying to reset his Wi-Fi, except instead of being the young whippersnapper that comes over to do it, I'm the geriatric guy trying to figure out how to go through the app. Lots and lots of stuff to adjust in there. Yeah, even at low power mode, we'll climb that hill just fine. And if you really pull the throttle hard, it does give you a good amount of power. I think I can feel the traction control working because we're not really burning out the back wheel. Wow, that's very cool. So for beginners, this bike would be great. And of course, if you're an advanced rider, you turn all those safety features off, all that nanny-wear. And of course, the bike that you guys will get is unlockable into beast mode. So you get full power as well, 21 kilowatts of power. I don't even know where I'm going. I've been on this trail before, but not this far up. I think I know where that comes out of. I'll have to explore this trail system more. Look at this suspension. Suspension travel feels so good. Oh man, it's so comfortable. My goodness. Look at this. It's holding us in hill parking. So it won't move because it knows, I think we're on a hill. Isn't that cool? It did it automatic. That's pretty awesome. To turn it off, you just go and we're good. Horn button, very loud. Let's see if there's wheel spin at all right now. We're gonna set it to G200 and just floor it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think there's any wheel spin. Wow. To turn it off, you can do it with the controls, but we're just gonna use the app. Look at this, more functions. Look at all these settings. Unreal, traction control, off. Okay, now let's check the wheel spin. Yeah, definitely kicking up more dirt, I can hear it. Reverse, look at that. Hold the reverse button and just hit the throttle lightly. Beautiful. Love it. Yeah, the front wheel is lifting up, even with this 200 setting. Ready? Plenty of power. This thing has plenty of power, it's not even fully unlocked. So guys, let me know what else you want to see about this bike. We're gonna do the usual, we'll do the full review. We'll put some miles on it to make sure we can unlock the beast mode so we can check the top speed. Maybe I'll register this thing so I can do some range tests on the road. If you guys are interested in this bike, I'll leave it listed in the description below, or you guys can scan the QR code on the screen with your phone and it'll bring you straight to Segway's website. Let me know what you think of this bike. By the way, they do read the comment sections, so if you want Segway to know your thoughts on this bike, leave a comment below. And that's it for today, folks. Until next time.